think you're good. Brian Adams. That's what I think every time
This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Tuesday, a Victory Tuesday for the Alabama Crimson Tide? Men's basketball team rolled last night in Coleman Coliseum. We're going to get into it on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. I know a lot of you couldn't watch it because of TV stuff. So we'll talk about Alabama, what we saw last night in Coleman Coliseum, right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. We're live in the Derry Daniels State Farm Studios, live with our friend Mason Woods as he gets jumped into the platform here in just a minute. We want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring and hosting the program. Call Derek for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. You're watching the show on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, the BamaCentral Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast platforms. You're finding the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, and I really, really appreciate you doing that. Sharing it with a friend. We're also brought to you by Strength Roofing and Siding. If you need peace of mind this winter, peace of mind this upcoming spring season, call Strength Roofing and Siding for all of your roofing needs at 205-858-9050. They're going to come out and give you a free roof inspection. They're backed by 45 years of expertise. You know, you've heard my man Zach Guffey. Oh, I've been sliding down the wrong slider. You know, my man Zach Guffey's been in the studio several times. He's going to be back in here this week talking about where he's been. Call Zach and his friends at 205-858-9050 for your free roof inspection at Strength Roofing and Siding. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun here on the program with Mason Woods. I don't quite see you. Did it come into the wrong link?
I don't know if I got a link.
All right, I sent you the wrong link then. I'm copying, I'm pasting. We're doing this over again. But it's A-okay. Oh, my. I sent the link to someone else right here in the Twitter DMs, and they will laugh at that this morning when they wake up. But that's great. There's a link to you. It should be. We're live with Mason Woods. He's going to jump right in here in just a minute. We're going to talk about Alabama basketball's win last night, as we said. We're going to talk about who stood out, maybe some of the circumstances that Alabama was dealing with yesterday. We are going to talk about these new freshmen that showed out yesterday. We're going to talk about basketball for the first portion of the program. You can join us on the comment section at MAWoods_, at Joe Gaither 6, at BamaCentral. You can join us really everywhere on the comment section. You can find us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800, if you want to find us on the voicemail line. And then we're going to talk about Alabama football against LSU just a little bit. We talked to the coaches yesterday. You can see that on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. You can see Nate Oates' post-game press conference on the YouTube channel, LeBaron Philon, Amari Allen on the BamaCentral YouTube channel as well. But we're going to transition from basketball to football to talk about the one aspect of the LSU offense that I think could be troublesome this coming week. I think that Alabama's going to have good success, going to be in control, but if they get this one thing rolling, if they get this one thing working, it could make for a long night in Bryant-Denny Stadium with our defense chasing all over the place. So we'll talk about what Kane Womack said about that one aspect towards the back end of the program, and we're going to have a lot of fun with our friend and our man Mason Woods, recruiting writer for BamaCentral.com, and Missouri Tigers on SI, Vanderbilt Commodores on SI, Boston College Eagles on SI. Mason Woods, good morning, man. How was your weekend? How are we feeling?
Weekend was good. Had a nice Saturday. To be honest, didn't watch as much football as I probably should have, but
that's okay.
Spent some time with the wife doing some things, or running around doing some fun stuff, and then Sunday just kind of sat around, Red Zone on, Titans on one screen, Red Zone on the other. Watching all these high school.
How many times did Titans and Red Zone cross over?
In the first quarter, a couple. Had two real nice plays: pick six, punt return, touchdown. Chimera DK. He looks to be the real deal at punt returner, which I can appreciate. Seems to be a pretty solid receiver too. I don't think they have a wide receiver one on that team as of now, but I think they've got maybe a few decent, 2 and 3 guys. So
Tighten up.
Yeah, that's about all I can take away from that game.
That's
the
okay.
offense is pretty atrocious. Cam Ward continues to not look that good. He made a couple nice throws here and there, and that's all you can really take away. Titans suck.
Hang on to those nice throws. That's that's what's going to carry you through the offseason. When you get a new coach, when you get another couple offensive weapons, it'll look good. It'll look better.
We'll see. They're projected to have the most cap room yet again.
There you go.
You know what that netted them last time? Calvin Ridley and L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
They both suck.
Roll Tide.
They both barely played. I hate them. I hate the Titans. They make me sad every Sunday. So, but outside of the Titans, I was able to watch some pretty impressive football, watching these high school commits, these high school recruits for Bama, for Boston College, for Vandy, for Missouri. You know, the Bama guys putting up a big week. I posted the story on Sunday. I don't remember exactly who all made the list this week. I think it was, I'm pretty sure Jet Tamala was back on there. I want to say Sedarian Morgan had a big game. I know there was one of the defensive guys too. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. It was
you had nice Sedarian Morgan,
Nolan Wilson. Oh,
and is there worry that Nolan Wilson is flirting with other programs or might not be committed?
A little concern. I don't know how serious it is. You know, he was in Auburn for the game against Kentucky and saw them lose 10-3. So I can't imagine that did a lot to convince him to want to come to Auburn. Coincide that with them firing their head coach and the program just kind of generally being in a state of
the barn is burning
at this moment. I don't know that it's necessarily helped his case with the Tigers there. And there was
the barn is burning.
Man, anyway, he put up a really big game this weekend. Let me see.
5 tackles, 3 for a loss, and 2 sacks is what you wrote.
Yeah, really impressive game. I couldn't find his actual highlights on Huddle, but I was able to see a couple clips on Twitter later in the week after I got this post. I think yesterday, maybe early this morning. I can't even remember now, but solid player. I mean, you know, you see the explosion there off the ball. You see the way he's able to use his hands to get past blockers. You know, I think he's got a lot of tools in his bag there as a pass rusher, and he can make things happen.
He looks to me like a primo wolf who can play inside a bandit and maybe even defensive tackle if you had to ask him on passing down situations. Remember how Jamarian Latham on 3rd and longs was kicking down from Wolf inside to basically 3 technique, and obviously Jamarian got hurt, and we hate that for him. But his versatility allowed Kane Womack to do a lot of things, and I think obviously Nolan Wilson's going to have to beef up a little bit for college and grow into it a little bit. But like I see a projection that a very similar path of I can play Wolf on 1st and 2nd downs. If you want to kick me inside on 3rd downs, it's 3rd and 7, and we got all our pass rushers on the field. I can man the guys in the guards. I can disrupt things from the middle.
We're like continuing. I mean, I think this class you see it a lot with the defensive guys, especially those front 7 guys there, where a lot of them have that versatility. And you know, we talk about it with basketball, the whole like positionless basketball thing. It does feel like very, you know, probably at a much slower pace and won't be quite as drastic, but football is slowly but surely moving toward where like your front 7, it's basically just a positionless blob of freak athletes who can all rush the passer, who can all drop into coverage if they need to. And a lot of these guys that Alabama is recruiting seem to have, you know, that kind of wide skill set, I think. And I'm excited to see what they can do once they get on campus and, like you said, beef up just a little bit to where they're ready to go.
So make sure you read that recruiting tracker if you want to find out all the details for the Alabama players, Alabama commits, not
quite
players.
The Trent Seaborn highlights.
Ooh, Trent Seaborn, Thompson High School, last game of the year.
Yeah, he posted them to his Twitter. I retweeted it. You can see, you know, I mentioned one play in there around the 3-minute, 16-second mark where he makes a really, really nice throw up the middle and kind of fits one in over a linebacker underneath the safety. It's a nice stuff there.
Woo! That gives me the heebie-jeebies. Well, let's get into basketball. I know that you were saying before we got started that you weren't being able to watch it because SEC Network Plus stuff and YouTube TVs.
Corporate greed.
Right.
That's why I wasn't able to watch
it,
right. Joe.
That's right. If you subscribe to YouTube TV, which I think you do.
I'm not a YouTube TV guy. I'm a Hulu guy, actually.
Okay, all right.
Same difference.
Well, yeah, if you have to subscribe,
because I couldn't watch on either of them because
Hulu
it was
Plus.
on Plus. Yeah, it was on SEC Network Plus. So no ESPN. I will not be signing up for your damn subscription service. I hate them.
I'm the sucker. You should have shot me a text message. I could have been able to help you out. But I was
following along on the score updates. You know, I was watching Auburn Bethune-Cookman over there scrambling on one screen, seeing it roll through on my updates.
We asked Coach O's to wait 5 minutes before his press conference, but to let that thing get through the overtime period.
That was crazy. Good on him for getting out that win. But no, yeah, it was upsetting to not be able to watch the Crimson Tide. I think that maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm being a bit of a homer here, but I think if you're the number 15 basketball team in the country, you've garnered the right to have all of your games televised at this point. So let's just get them on TV.
Drives me nuts for the crowd ended up being pretty nice, I thought. Definitely some empty splotches in Coleman Coliseum, and you guys know how I am or how I have been about being on the crowd, getting to Coleman and being loud. By the time the national anthem was sung, I would say it was at a 75% full.
That's pretty good for, opening night, you like to see a good crowd, but North Dakota State, you get it.
Yeah, North Dakota. But I will give the credit. The students didn't care about Monday Night Football. The students were in there pouring in, and not only was the student section pretty much full, I would put it at 98% capacity. Not only was the student section pretty much full, they were loud. They were into it the entire time. So they passed on the new Crimson Chaos president, and he had them riled up. They were yelling at the North Dakota players, and they were into
early impression of the new Crimson Chaos president. Are we thinking it's going to be a good run? Are we thinking?
Oh, I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him other than seeing him get the plaid jacket put on his back and. Just based off night one performance.
It sounds like it was pretty good.
You give you an A, buddy. Good job. You got them going. You had them riled up.
There were points last year where I think you and I were complaining about them a little bit.
There's always points where exactly.
And we'll probably complain this year as well, but off to a good start.
He had them ready last night. They were ready, and the starting lineups, rah, rah, cheered for everybody. But when they announced from Mobile, Alabama, LeBaron, the place just went nuts.
Awesome.
So it was a good crowd, I thought, for what it was on a Monday night.
Any North Dakota representation out there?
I didn't hear any sort of. No,
I would be shocked to see if they had any fans around here.
I didn't see.
Would love to see one little speck of green.
Right. I didn't see any sort. Alabama wins 91-62. Okay, let's just start with the circumstances. Didn't have Aiden Holloway, didn't have Latrell Wrightsell, didn't have Keaton Bristow, and that's essentially 3 starters, 2.5 starters, 3 starters, really.
Obviously, all that shock going in that those guys didn't.
Yes.
Play?
Okay. So you on Thursday, Coach Oates had a press conference and basically said, "Oh yeah, we're all healthy outside of Jaleel. Everybody knows Jaleel with a busted toe sort of thing." And no real timetable on Jaleel. I think January is kind of the target timeline to see Jaleel Bethea back on this team and back in the roster. And it'll probably take till February till he's ramped up fully and contributing the way we expected him to.
That's when you need to be playing your best ball.
Right. So that's okay. But Thursday, Coach Oates is all like, "Oh, we're healthy. I think we're going to be fine. Everybody's good to go." And then they come out for warm-ups. Latrell's in sweats, Aiden Holloway's in sweats, and Keaton Bristow's in sweats. And Keaton Bristow's in sweats with a big old ankle boot on him. Aiden Holloway's in sweats with a wrist brace. And we couldn't really see what was going on with Latrell. So my first thought was, Latrell's Achilles didn't respond very well to the Furman game. He got minutes in the Furman scrimmage last Sunday, and that was my first thought. They're being precautious, and I thought, well, duh, you should be precautious. Well, it comes out later. Oates told CTSN, Chris Stewart and Brian Pasnick that Latrell's Achilles is fine. He said Latrell injured his finger in the Furman game, jammed a finger, mashed a finger, something silly, and then aggravated it again over the weekend. So he's off. All right. He said his Achilles is fine. Okay. He's still, because they said Thursday he's on a minutes restriction. And then I guess from Thursday to yesterday, rebanged his finger or something like that. Pause. Then we had Aiden Holloway. He is apparently dealing with a wrist injury that re-flared up over the weekend. Is day to day. Coach called all 3 of these guys day to day.
Did he have a wrist thing last season, or am I making that up?
I don't remember, but maybe he could have. My memory's not perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry.
And then Keaton Bristow dealing with some sort of ankle foot situation.
This is something we've known about for a little, or at least had an inkling of, right?
I
Or
did
am I,
not.
again, making that up? I feel like I remember hearing something about Keaton Bristow maybe having an issue, but again,
Yeah, I
don't
did
know.
not.
Everything runs together now.
But perhaps I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. Let's see. Let's see, find the quote. Holloway wrist flared up. Right, so graduate Bristow. Come on, Hunter. Where'd you put this in your article? Oates expanded the Risto. Nevertheless, Holloway and Bristow each played, but didn't play. I think it's just an ankle roll, basically. I don't think it's. I don't think
Sounds
it's
like
very,
three very minor injuries.
Right. All right. So that's the point. Three minor injuries kept them out last night. And so what did it mean for Alabama? Well, you're pretty daggone limited at who's playing point guard without Aiden Holloway and without really backup point guard, backup point guard / starting shooting guard Latrell Wrightsell. And Aiden's basically playing guard as well, playing starting guard. So you'd probably really like to have played LeBaron, Aiden, and Latrell at starting with Keaton Bristow and Aiden Sherrill. Keaton or Taylor Bobo in and out, basically 1-for-1 swap at the 4, with Aiden Sherrill at the 5. What ended up happening last night? Okay, so you won. You got out to a good start. You shot in the first half pretty good beyond the arc. I think it was 7 of 16, 7 of 16 from the 3-point line.
Great.
But then second half, you were 1 of 11 from beyond the arc. The offense got a little junky after about these 8, 9, 10 minute mark in the first half. You ended up with no turnover. The first turnover for Bama came at like 7 minutes left in the 7, 8 minutes left in the first half. Ended with 15 turnovers on the night. So to me, you asked more of Amari Allen. Amari probably going to be a dog on this team. Really, really, really fun player to watch last night. And was kind of highly touted, and Coach Oates was like, "Oh, he's surprising us in summer camp a little bit." London Jemison and Davion Hannah also getting a lot of run.
That dunk,
Davion Hannah down the baseline.
Man, I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw that clip.
Yeah, I was impressed with the 3 freshmen for sure. And Houston Millett, Houston Millett, Coach Oates could not say enough nice things about him in the postgame press conference. Basically called him the example for the whole team. He was talking about offensive rebounding and saying, he got half the offensive rebounds that we had. The guys just need to study Houston Millett's tape. And he said he goes so hard that he's got to tap himself out, and he pulls him out and he says, "Okay, you ready to go back in?" He goes back in and he has to go hard until he taps himself out. Houston Millett, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and 1 foul. But getting involved in a lot of stuff. 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc.
Give me a team of just Houston Millett's, will go far.
Yes, you will. I mean, the effort that he plays with, and I'm in the right place at the right time, and just kind of that. The connector, right? So you have 2 really got good, 2 or 3 really good players. You got the guy in the middle that connects everything together, the sinew there, the glue guy, right? I think that Houston, oh dear Lord, please keep him healthy the whole year, please. Because I think that he absolutely was impressive last night, because just the style of play. Like, of course, you're going to beat North Dakota, and am I saying Final Four after the last night? No, I'm not. I'm still in the, okay, it's fine, it's good, good to win, a lot to work on. Some circumstances made the team look a little different than it probably will look. But I will join Coach Oates. I mean, if Coach Oates is going to praise him, I will doubly praise him, because I think that he really was, Houston Millett, super impressive last night. Just the way that he played blue collar basketball. It's like the definition of the program.
Is he our new alternate universe Mo D? Or same personality, same juice, but
more
different
skilled
skill set.
Yeah, more skilled, and maybe a little better, a little more suited for his own position. Mo
Yeah.
D was like an undersized forward, like maybe even more suited to play in this system because man, he's a guard. He plays a guard. He's a guard. He plays a guard. He can shoot. I was really really impressed with Houston Millett.
I mean, it all goes back to picking 95 because what was it, 95% of the time on the court, you don't have the ball in your hand.
Yeah.
Like that is a team first guy. He has been since he arrived on campus, and seeing it this early in the season, I think is very, very encouraging.
Yeah, so I was thrilled with Houston's play last night, and all of his minutes were highly enjoyable to watch. I thought he represented the uniform extremely well. And so it was a good game, but you struggle with some turnovers at the end. I didn't really love, you out rebounded them 46-26, but I also honestly didn't really love the effort on the glass. Just on the whole, Aiden Sherrill, 5 rebounds? Is that what I have? 4 rebounds for Aiden Sherrill.
Yeah.
You had Noah Williamson that got into the action, and Noah was impressive in spurts. 4 rebounds for Noah Williamson. Taylor Bobo, 3 rebounds. 3 rebounds. So that's your forwards. Collins Onyeka gets in there for 6 minutes, gets 5 rebounds, and I like Collins is going to be my man crush the whole year, just because massive man who looks like, man, if you ever get it, then you're going to be just a problem for other teams. With his size, struggled to secure the basketball when contested. Did get 5 rebounds, but struggled to secure the I mean, he's 17. He should be a high school senior.
Yeah.
That was my complaint with Collins.
Still fairly new to basketball, as far as I know.
In the right position, in decent positions, but just okay when people were swiping at the ball, when other older college players were swiping at the ball, struggled to keep it secured. But still 5 rebounds. I didn't love the rebounding. We'll just say that on the day when your leading rebounder is Houston Millett and he plays 20 minutes. Come on, guys, can we not get? He played 28 minutes. He played more than I just said. He played 28 minutes. It's Aiden Sherrill that played 20 minutes. Noah Williamson played 14, and Onyeka played 6. So you're really going with this weirder lineup because you don't have Keaton Bristow. Taylor Bowen was 18. Coach Oates was ripping Taylor Bowen apart on the sideline. You probably couldn't see it for those who were watching, but they were pulling him out after defensive mistakes. He got backdoor cutted on the second or third possession of the game, and it's out. And he was living in Taylor Bowen's rear end.
That's what you need. I mean, hey, look, there's one thing that this team has not been lacking in offense. It's been defense. They've had to get better on defense. So if you see a guy first real game of the season already starting to slack on defense, I'm pretty happy that Nate Oates is taking that sort of approach.
Yeah, and so even with a shorter bench last night, he was pretty quick to, you caused a turnover, out. You had a defensive mistake, out. You had an effort issue, out. Everything else was just, yeah, man, it's the Nate Oates offense, run and gun, baby. Let's get to the hoop. That was the only part when LeBaron was out of the game, you got a bit junky in the half-court offense.
I mean, that's to be expected when, like you said, you're missing Aiden Holloway, you're missing Jalil Bethea still. So, I get that.
Right. And so
missing Reitzel as well.
They ran pretty well. 24 fast break points. I thought that they got up and down the floor pretty well when they had opportunities. 44 points in the paint. They attacked the basket pretty well, I thought. Let's see, our basket total is 19 of 25. 19 of 25 at the basket, layups and dunks. So pretty good right there. Just 1.2 points per possession, solid. Really, really, really solid. But I also just thought North Dakota,
not a good basketball team.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did it feel like Alabama? Because I think we saw this at points last season where, they'd play up to their competition, they'd play down to competition. And it's was there a sense of, okay, the team realizes the situation they're in and they're not necessarily trying like they know they should because they know they don't have to?
the first 8 to 9 minutes, it was just the switch is on, the fire hose is fire hose, and I was like,
and that's how it went last season in points, I think.
Right, and then about
once you get up by 10, 15,
they drew up to a 16-point lead in the first half and kind of waned on 16 to 12, 15 to 11 in that margin.
You play just hard enough to keep it out of reach,
right? Right, and that's where you started to get some turnovers for Alabama. Just got a little careless with the basketball once they got a nice little margin.
I mean, is that just part of dealing with a long season? You take your chances to, all right. I know that classic, oh, you give 110% until the whistle blow. Like, I know that is not in line with that thinking, but let's be honest here, folks. Play a lot of basketball games. I can understand it maybe if you take your opportunities to get a little breather here and there.
In these early parts of the season, I think it's very character building to foot on the gas, on the gas. And like Alabama's schedule is about to get rough. Like that's why I'm not like doing backflips this morning. I'm happy that Alabama won. I think that they played A-, B+. I think they'd
like to see that A+.
Right. You're about to play St. John's, Purdue, Illinois, and Gonzaga all in a row. What is the average? What's 6? Let me pull a calculator here. 6 and 17 is 23 plus 21 is 44, right? 44 divided by 4 is 11, right? These four teams, basically you're playing the number 11 ranked team 4 times in a row in 4 different styles in 4 different places in 4 different versions. Not easy. And I think St. John's in New York on Saturday is going to be fairly difficult. Especially if you have 15 turnovers, they're going to turn you over and they're going to get after you. St. John's beating the mess out of, who did we say was it, Quinnipiac? Is that what I said? Beating the mess out of Quinnipiac last night at 108-74. They ended up forcing Quinnipiac had 22 turnovers. Had 22 turnovers. Now, obviously, Quinnipiac not as good as Alabama, not as skilled as Alabama. Quinnipiac was 7 of 18 from 3-point line. And they got out-rebounded St. John's Red Storm, out-rebounded them 45-35. So really not so hot.
That's not a game you win if you turn it over 15 times.
St. John's, 60 points in the paint. 60 points in the paint. So, like, if you're thin up front, if you're thin up front, it's going to be a problem on Saturday. Aiden Sherrill, I think played about a C+ in my opinion. We were sitting over here yesterday with Theo, and I said, okay, double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, something along those lines. 14 points, 11 rebounds.
A guy like him should be getting.
Yes, and to go into halftime without a rebound was a little upsetting to me.
We're still seeing some of the same, because I think last year our biggest gripe with him was it just never looked like he was quite ready to be playing at this level.
Coordination.
He never really was up to speed.
Yes.
We're continuing to see that this season.
That's what I saw last night. Just a little coordination issues, a little like baby deer action.
Too big for his own, too big for his own body. Like
no, defensively, he protected the rim. 4 blocks last night. And you ended up holding North Dakota. What was there at the rim stats? 14 of 26. So like you made him miss at the rim a handful of different times. I do think that he protected the rim fairly decently. But I'm not giving him more than a B+ for him last night would be a generous grade. I think C+ is probably about right. For Aiden Sherrill. Like, you're going to have to get something out of him this year. You're going to have to get some, be comfortable, banging bodies. Like, Noah Williamson underneath was fine, but also slow, a little unathletic, but just big. So he looked 7 foot for sure. He looked 7 foot. He did get was it only 2 points last night? That I'm remembering. Yeah. So he got 2 points as Alabama's going on a fast break. He ran the break pretty well, like chasing it down, and somebody dished him the ball. One dribble, left-hand layup, it's in. So that was nice, very skilled. Where impressed me the most was a 2 assists right here, 2 assists. But he probably had 2 or 3 more hockey assists, where he threw one
Yeah.
an extra pass. He was pretty nice distributing the basketball, in my opinion. And then 4 rebounds. Like, you're gonna have to get more rebounding out of the bigs. Keaton Bristow, apparently all through summer and fall ball, was a monster on the glass. And so, like, maybe that's what you're missing on the bench.
Can we even believe that, though, if he was playing against this team?
Sure.
I mean,
Right.
it doesn't sound like it's very hard to be a monster on the glass against Alabama once again.
Right. And that was part of the reason why Coach Oates was living in Taylor Bowen's rear end.
Yeah, I mean, look, man.
He came out of the press conference, hold on, he said, we're not getting anything from the 4. Nothing. We're getting nothing from the 4. And, like, he didn't out and out say Bill Bowen, but everybody who can put 2 and 2 together.
I mean, look, if you're going to be that big, you got to play that big, man. I'm sorry. I get that everybody wants to be the point guard. Everybody wants to be the guy bringing the ball. You're 7 foot tall. You're 6'11", whatever it is. Like, you got to play like that.
Yeah, right.
You got to play with what you got.
So I enjoyed it. Now, the brightest star, LeBaron, we haven't said anything really about him other than the offense looked good when he was in it.
4
and how
turnovers.
Yeah, 4 turnovers, but the ball was in his hands
pretty
much the entire game.
If we're being honest, like if we're talking relative to last season, I'll take that 10 times out of 10. Because
right.
Mark Sears was turning you over 10 times a game sometimes.
And the ball was in his hands basically every single time he was in the game. Yeah. 22 points, career high for LeBaron Philon, which we found that out, and I thought that's a career high. I didn't realize that. 22 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, a block on the 4 turnovers. I thought LeBaron looked so comfortable. Just looked like the game was going so slow to him. And I think that some of those 4 turnovers were the game's going so slow to me. I'm going to dribble a little bit. I'm going to whip one in. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to dribble a little bit. I'm going to
see something a little flashy.
Yes. But in the early parts of the game, he didn't have his first turnover. He had Alabama's first turnover at 13:43.
Okay, yeah.
So you went 6.5 minutes roughly without a turnover. The first 6.5 minutes without a turnover. So you got off to a good start, and then you're up 7 points, 19-12 at that point, where you lost the ball, dribbled basically out of bounds off your foot as you were penetrating. Off his foot, off his leg, something as he was penetrating.
It feels like we have to grade this team in terms of how many points they're up or down by. It's like,
right.
Like when it's 0-0, A+ basketball team, you're going to play good as anybody. When it's, tight game, you go up by 10, you get down by 10. It's like they just kind of lollygag a little bit sometimes. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, but I was pleased with the game, just with some nitpicks for sure. I thought that
at the end of the day, we are nitpicking.
The next 4 games are really going to tell you what this team's about, and you're also not going to know what this team's about unless they get healthy. Like, you got to get Aiden Holloway, Latrell Wrightsell, Keaton Bristow back in the fold ASAP, especially for these next 4 games. And you've got to hope that Jalil Bethea is on some sort of a right track to come into the team last week of December, second week of January, somewhere in that range. And so if everything comes together, I do see pieces of a team that, that's going to be dangerous. But right now, there's still such a, it's still such a lump of clay that, okay, the right hands, in Nate Oates' hands, let him shape, let him mold, let the lump of clay. You might have a little sculpture here. But last night, I'm happy to win, happy to get off to a 1-0 start. Yeah. But I'm not sitting here doing backflips, booking tickets to Indianapolis yet.
I mean, to the point, like you said, though, a lot of things this season do, at least right now, feel like they could line up pretty well for Alabama. You play hard enough without Jalil Bethea. Obviously, that is banking on getting Latrell back, getting Aiden Holloway back, getting
Keaton
Bristow back. But if those guys can get back and they can play well enough to earn one of these top seeds in the SEC, one of these top, handful of seeds, get that by, and then like right at that time where we're getting to conference tournament is when Jalil Bethea is getting back with the team. He's getting back. He's getting his minutes up and things like that. And then he can, you can basically just unleash him in the tournament. That timeline wise, your framework here, your blueprint for this season looks pretty good.
I agree with you. I agree with you bigly. So I'm going to go to Nato's clip because Nato's roasted me last night. But to set it up, we'll tell you Amari Allen and Davion Hanna are both from the state of Wisconsin. Two freshmen. They combined for 21 points. 10 rebounds. That's 7 assists, and 1 block and 6 steals. The two of them. That's a
basketball powerhouse, Wisconsin.
You mold those two guys into one player. That's a hell of a line, honestly. 6 steals, a block, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 21 points off two freshmen in their first college action. And Nick Kelly was just asking him about the state of Wisconsin and basketball, and I just ended up catching a stray.
Question. Have you ever had this many Wisconsin guys on the floor at one time?
I've never had this many Wisconsin guys on the team. I don't think we've had any on the team down here since I've been here, so that was great. And we see how hard they play. Mari and Davion both like high effort, a lot of tough plays. Trying to get, I know Mari won the blue collar. I'm trying to get the final blue collars. Mari won it with 22 and a half, and Davion was second with 19 and a half. So the Packers didn't quite come through for us. I don't know what this shenanigans in the front row tonight is about, but Bears looked a little better than the Packers, but Wisconsin gave us an effort tonight, that's for sure.
So, of course, I'm sitting there wearing it's Victory Monday. I'm wearing my Bears sweatshirt.
Did you hit him with the Bears?
No, it's not the time.
Given him one.
Yeah,
Bears.
I should have. Next time that happens, I will. But plus, we haven't played the Packers yet, so I just need to stay silent. Just need to stay silent. We got two games against Green Bay later.
NFL is a weird league. Green Bay Packers are still a very good football team.
Yeah, for sure. But Coach complimented his Wisconsin guys last night. I thought the three freshmen.
I'm
they
excited.
look like the baby Ninja Turtles, and it's like, oh, if these Ninja Turtles get a little growing.
I wanted to ask for your report on specifically the three freshmen because from everything, I have seen glowing reports on Twitter, basically last night and this morning about those three guys. Obviously, we talked about the Davion Hanna dunk. I mean, that was thunderous, and it was not just he's wide open. It was like, no, this is a poster. Takes it off the baseline. And two-handed goes up with it and yams on a guy. But I mean, I was, this was a recruiting class for Alabama that I don't think necessarily was the big headliner. Like, I think they finished. I mean, they didn't finish bad or anything. I think they were a top 25 team in the country recruiting wise. But it wasn't like this was your number one overall class bringing in 3 5-stars, whatever. They brought in 3 guys that were highly rated, but not necessarily like the most biggest names, whatever in the class. But to see them have this much impact this early, I think is very encouraging. And it leads me to believe that you maybe have a lot of depth on this basketball team.
Yeah. They look like 3 quintessential NATO's I made you in a lab, 6'8", 6'8", 6'6", right? They're all basically, they're not quite forwards, but they're not exactly guards either.
Basketball.
Right, exactly. And I thought they shot the ball pretty well. What are their final shooting numbers? Amari Allen was 2 of 6 from behind the line. Davion Hanna, 0 of 2. Okay, London Jemison, 1 of 6. Right. So you were 3 of 12, 3 of 14 from beyond the arc. I didn't hate it, honestly.
It's just getting used to a college arena.
Right. And I don't think that that was the other thing that you're 8 of 27 on the whole game. But I don't think that they were just jacking up threes. It was, okay, this 3 is in the rhythm of the offense. I'm taking it, right? Ball's kicked to you. You need to take that shot, So I thought that was good. One thing, how about this? Free throws, 21 of 27.
That's pretty nice.
77% is pretty good. Obviously, you wanted that 80, 82, sure. But
we can work with that.
Right. When you're taking that many, 27, and you walk away with 21 of them, you should be pretty happy with that. I mean, that's been an issue in different years for NATO's team. Some years great, some years not so good. So you're starting off. I mean, all this is just one data point. All these, this whole game is just one data point, and so like you got to take it for what it is. One data point, I think, is about a B plus. About a okay. We can. There's room to grow here, but pretty good baseline to start with. Yeah, so a lot of fun last night in Coleman Coliseum. We will be following Alabama's matchup against St. John's on Saturday. Saturday is a stupidly huge day where you have Alabama St. John's at 11 a.m. and you've got Alabama LSU football at 7:30. Is that right? At 6:30. 6:30. Sorry, I'm not on Eastern time. At 6:30. So 11 a.m. basketball, 6:30 football. Get your honey-do list done through the week. And you know, I don't know. Send the kids to go on a play date. Basically, it would be my strategy if I had any children. But it's going to be a massive, massive day here in Tuscaloosa. You got any more basketball thoughts before I flip it over to football?
I mean, just looking at I'm looking at the lineup here from last night. I mean, you got 9 guys that I think could feasibly all of the 9 guys that played a fair amount of minutes down to Collins on Yejiaka with about 6 minutes. They're like, all of those guys I think are decent enough, are good enough to be in a rotation this year. And then you think about the guys that are injured as well. I'm just I wonder who's going to kind of be the guys that get cut down. I'm sure it'll be these freshmen. I would imagine that, I don't think Amari Allen will be playing 30 minutes a game a whole season, but if he's good enough, I just wonder who's going to get their minutes cut down on, because it's going to have to be some of these guys. We're not going to see a 13-man rotation this year.
No. What it's going to be, Collins is going to be the first one to get cut these 6 minutes.
Which I hate, because like you said, I didn't watch it, but it seems like his minutes, as few and far, as few as they were very valuable.
Valuable, but they came in the end of the first half and the end of the second, towards the tail end of the second half. Yeah, checks in with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Right, okay.
And then
at the end, when it was
then gets checked back in 8 minutes left in the second half. Okay. So a lot of the 6 minutes is, hey, we're up by 20. Let's give you some run. Let's get you comfortable. And I liked him, but I think
raw.
Yes, I think he's going to be a player that you just spoon feed minutes. Here's your 3 minutes. Oh, you did okay with those 3 minutes. We'll give you 3 more minutes tomorrow, the next night. 3 more minutes the next night. How about 4 minutes the next night? And just like, ideally, by the time you get to tournament time, it's, we can ask you to sprinkle in 7 minutes across the course of so that I can yell at Aiden Sherrill or yell at, somebody. Yeah. I think that's going to be his max future. It's probably about 7-8 minutes sprinkled throughout a game. This game was all just, okay, we got this thing in hand. Right. Go get your legs loose a little bit.
I mean, it's a good problem to have,
Yeah, for sure. So good start for Alabama. We'll pay attention to the Crimson Tide. I think they got a press conference again on Friday before they head out to New York, and so we will be there for BamaCentral.com. I don't usually wear my Bear stuff on Friday, Coach, so you're safe. Let's transition to football real quick, because we need to start really honing in on this LSU game. And we're going to be having Zach Nagy join us on Thursday at 8:45 to talk about the LSU Tigers. You heard from Zach Nagy, LSU Tigers on SI in the summertime. So we are very, very grateful that he's going to come back and join us to preview this LSU season in the summertime. Remember, he was talking 10-2. Oh,
a lot of people were,
and not slamming Zach at all. A lot of people were, and he was basically saying it's got to be 10-2 or Brian Kelly's fired. Well, Brian Kelly's fired, so
he nailed it
exactly. We'll bring Zach back on Thursday to talk about the LSU Tigers. I think there's one aspect of the LSU offense that could give Alabama a lot of fits, and we'll talk about it right after this break. First, we want to tell you about our friends Strength Roofing and Siding. They're backed by 45 years of expertise, tens of thousands of roof installs, and over 400 five-star customer reviews across the entire company. Strength Roofing and Siding offers our customers the highest quality materials, fast install times, and market-leading extended warranties. Our Tuscaloosa local roofing experts provide expert residential roof replacement and comprehensive repair service for homeowners across the greater Tuscaloosa area. Call 205-858-9050 today for your free roof inspection. When severe weather strikes, your roof is your home's first line of defense. Storms with high winds, heavy rain, and hail, they can cause serious damage. It's not always visible from the ground, and you're not always looking at your roof when you're sitting in your living room. So make sure you call them today at 205-858-9050. Zach Guffey and his team, they'll get up on your roof. They'll check your roof out, let you know, this roof's got 10 years left on it, got 5 years left on it. You got a trouble spot right here we should take care of. Or, unfortunately, you should probably replace the whole roof. And if that's the case, they'll work with your insurance company to make sure that the process goes well for you. Call them, Strength Roofing and Siding, 205-858-9050. All right, Mason Woods, how are we feeling about this LSU game? We didn't talk much about it last week. We talked about LSU's coaching situation a good bit. We said that it's probably going to be a spicier game now with Frank Wilson in charge, and Tigers get the mojo back, trying to become the Bayou Bengals again. How you feeling on a Tuesday as we are, 4 or 5 days away from kickoff?
Yeah, I mean, I'd first off like to say that to my knowledge, I was correct about this LSU team, and if anybody can pull some receipts to say otherwise, I challenge you to. But I knew going into this season this team was going to be disappointing, and disappointing they have been. However, the biggest thing that concerns me going into this game is simply that they fired Brian Kelly and that this team has a bit of juice about them. I think that program has lacked the typical Tiger. LSU aura that we associate with the Bayou Bengals, like you just said.
Hold that Tiger, don't let them go.
They haven't had any of that since Brian Kelly got hired. I don't think I've seen one clip of the band play a neck in 4 years. It's just the sauce in Louisiana has been absent for years now, and I think they have a little touch of it back. You saw the alumni come back on campus, which you had some Twitter wars going on between Ryan Clark and Brendan
Faco,
which I didn't really care to look into that much, but regardless, maybe not anything great in the neighborhood there. But you brought the alumni back, you get the guys in, you start to just feel you start to feel good about yourselves for the first time in a long time, probably, if you're LSU. I think those players are feeling a little confident this week. Because the bad man is gone. The man that told them to do all these bad things that led them to not have fun for the last 3-4 years, he's gone. The terrorist is gone. What the invader? What did the coach? I mean, Frank Will basically referred to him. Referred to Brian Kelly as the Japanese Imperial Army.
What?
Like the bad man is no longer in Baton Rouge. So yeah, that is the biggest thing that concerns me with this team. I do not think it's really anything that they've put on the field. They obviously have skill. They obviously have all the 5 stars and things like LSU is going to always have, but I've not seen them put anything really that coherent together this season. So I as far as X's and O's go, not really concerned with what I've seen, but just the simple fact that they have maybe a little touch of confidence worries me.
Yeah. Not far. I'm not far away from you. At 5-3, they've definitely got consistency issues. Especially consistency issues along the offensive line and really an offensive execution. They don't have great pass protection, in my opinion.
Really struggle to replace the guys they lost last year.
But their skill position, as you said, are really, really talented. Barrion Brown, Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas. They've got some skill guys. I think the tight end. Is Trey'Dez Green not with? Am I on the wrong page here? Trey'Dez Green. I'm not seeing him on the LSU R-Lads page, but I know that he's been. Oh, right there. I was looking at the wrong street. Trey'Dez Green, I think, is a baller at tight end. A really, really impressive player at tight end.
6'7", 240. Who's guarding him?
Yeah, I think he's a beast. I think he's a real problem. Harlan Berry has played pretty good in their last game against Texas A&M, and I think he's a good little freshman running back. Caden Durham, basically, has he been hurt the whole year? Because I think that he hasn't really. Yeah, injury update. He's been hurt pretty much the whole year. Caden Durham be back to the South Carolina game. It provides updates on running back. No. So I basically looked at the Texas A&M game. The Texas A&M game. And while the score did get crazy, LSU losing pretty big to Texas A&M, it was close for a long time.
Yeah, it was.
49-25 ended up being the final, but at halftime it was still really, really close. It was LSU's leading at halftime 18-14.
Yeah, things kind of snowballed a little bit in the second half there.
Yeah, bigly. I think LSU could, with the offensive coordinator that they're bringing in, that they're promoting, Alex Atkins, former offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Florida State. If there's anyone that's intimately familiar with LSU's personnel problems, strengths, and weaknesses, it's the offensive line coach, I think. And if I'm the offensive line coach, I'm looking at this Texas A&M tape, and I'm really honing in on the things you did well, because Texas A&M's defense is pretty good, but you did have a pretty successful first half. I think that you could see, like, Alabama hasn't dealt with a lot of RPO this year. Georgia didn't really do it a ton.
Yeah.
Tennessee did a little, but not a ton. A little. Like, nobody that Alabama has faced this year has just leaned on the RPO. Florida State used it a couple times just to really keep you mixed up.
Used it effectively.
I think that LSU has a real chance to just put their arm rest down on the RPO and just say, hey, man, you better play sound defense, because we're going to spread you out. They're going to make you play light boxes because our athletes are so good on the outside. Because they are good. Yeah. Our athletes are sure. Good players on the outside. You can take a 5-yard play and turn it into 50-yard play. And we can run on a light box, I think. We can't pass protect for Jack. We can't pass protect to save our life. Mm-hmm. They got into some RPO game against Texas A&M, and I thought, man, Garrett Nussmeier, he's reading. I mean, you're basically reading like two players. Yeah. Oh, Billy comes in to take his run fits, pass it out to the outside. Numbers advantage. It's just basic math. It's 3 to the outside versus 2 defenders. We're spitting it out to the outside to Aaron Anderson. It's 3 defenders outside, 2 defenders on the other outside. Box has 6 players. We're handing it off to Caden. We're handing it off to Harlan Berry. Like, I think the RPO game could become LSU's bread and butter in this game, and could be extremely frustrating for Alabama's defense to try to defend the entire game.
Yeah, I think they certainly could. I guess my pushback is, I don't know that LSU's defense is really up to the task of stopping Alabama's offense that much. So I think Alabama's going to be able to get a lot of explosive plays, a lot of quick strike touchdowns, maybe. Well, not a lot, but some quick strike touchdowns maybe on this team. And I just wonder if, like in that Texas A&M game, it just kind of snowballs again for LSU, where it's like, all right, if we can't make a 10-minute drive happen here, what do we do? And then it's like, all right, next thing you know, you're down 14-0. And it's like, all right, well, it's okay, 6-7 minutes off the clock. Okay, we only got to midfield. All right, let's punt it back to them. And then it's 21. I can just kind of see that happening for LSU in this game, where while that may work, they may be able to push the ball a little bit and move it decently well. If you can't get any of the big chunk plays like that, and you can't match what Alabama was able to do on offense, I don't know how much it's going to really help you.
Well, I think you're trying to help your defense by being a metronome on offense.
Yeah,
and you're just trying to say, Garrett Nussmeier, you're the most experienced quarterback in the SEC outside of Ty Simpson, basically. I mean, he needs more experience than Ty Simpson based on playing time. Is there another quarterback that's played more than Garrett Nussmeier has in the league?
Zach Calzada.
Right. He's not even playing right now. But I think you say, look, Garrett, you want to have a legacy game right here. The team's in shambles.
We're behind you, buddy.
We barely have an offensive coordinator. You can call the plays, man. You got this list of RPOs. You got this list of reads. I think that, and look, you said, I don't think that they can stop Alabama. Probably not. But what's your right now? My confidence level in this Alabama offense is not as high as it was week 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Right now, my confidence level in this Alabama offense is, if 10 is nobody's stopping this team ever, is at a 6.5, 7.
Yeah,
because you still can't run the ball. You still can't run the ball for anything. Alabama run the ball challenge for 5 yards at play. Impossible, right? And so if I'm LSU, I look at this South Carolina tape and I say, well, they can't run the ball. We're just going to play single high and force Ty to basically beat us down the field. 1 of 9 down the field last game. Is it the best strategy?
Have a Dylan Stewart out there or a Brian Thomas Jr.?
Harold Perkins? Throw Harold Perkins out there and let him.
Is he even play? He's playing off-ball linebacker now, isn't he?
Mixing it up, going back and forth.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm throwing him at Caden Proctor and saying, hey, man, moneymaker game right here.
Yeah, maybe they will do that. I mean, admittedly, it's not Brian Kelly anymore. The bad man is gone, so maybe he's not going to
just
keep making that guy play a position he doesn't need to be playing.
Right. I think that I'm taking the South Carolina and just carbon copying it and saying, Ty, if you can beat us over the top one-on-one, okay.
Yeah.
Like if you and the wide receivers are good enough, but in the South Carolina game,
didn't beat them over the top.
Exactly. I don't think the ball placement down the field was really that good. I think it was at best.
Yeah.
And of course Ryan dropped a big pass on 4th and 1 that could have kept the drive going. Okay. Like there was some little column A, little column B. Yeah. But I think the ball placement through the entire game was not that good. And I'm not saying Ty's been bad. Like, come on, don't crush me for that.
I mean, that was outside of maybe Florida State, which that game honestly could have maybe been worse than Florida State because he played decently in that Florida State game, just missed some opportunities. That was probably his worst game of the year, though.
Agreed.
And you won.
And you're going to be playing at home, so like you're going to be more comfortable, and you're going to have the crowd behind you. Nobody's going to be rah-rahing while you're on offense. Everybody's going to be, hold your breath and let's see him play so we can explode on a touchdown. Ah, we love you, Ty. He's the man. And he's going to be filled with confidence playing at home.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm the LSU coaching staff, I'm charged with coming up with a game plan that puts us in the best position to win. I'm not sitting back. I'm not playing zone defenses saying beat us throwing 12 yards onto the middle underneath the defense, 7 yards underneath, and just picking us apart with readings. Because Ty's shown to me, hey, you give me a zone defense, I got answers, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cover 2, bam. Cover 3, bam. I'll go 1 to 2 to 3. Here you go.
Did you read Nick Kelly's story yesterday?
I got to admit something, Mason. I don't read any of our colleague stories.
That's fair. I typically don't read many of them.
And Nick's great. I'm sorry. That's not anything edgy, Nick. He's great. What did he have to say?
He spent some time in Martin, Tennessee, talking with many people who were, instrumental in Ty's upbringing. And it just, was very eye-opening to really learn how much time he spent in meeting rooms and things from the time he was, 4, 5, 6 years old to going off to Tuscaloosa to play quarterback. Like, if anybody knows football, it's Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows, like you just said, exactly anything you throw at him, he knows, okay, well, this is what I'm supposed to do against that, because he has spent, thousands of hours in a meeting room with guys who were way above his level at that point, but he's the guy in there asking questions and queries and, wondering, okay, well, if he does that, what? It was a neat story. So, for anybody that does want to go check it out, feel free to.
And hey, look, I'll read all of our colleague stories. I know my man Hunter DeCiver.
I'll read ours twice.
Yeah, I know Hunter DeCiver has a cover today on the 3 freshmen that played last night. So if you want to check out his thoughts on Davion Hanna, London Jemison, and Amari Allen, you can do that on BamaCentral.com. But of course, I think most of our colleagues on other outlets do pretty good work as well. I'm really hopeful that Matt Stahl from Mail.com is able to pull off the project that he's been bantering about in our back ends. I don't want to spoil it, but if he's able to pull it off, it's about the Iron Bowl and it's about Auburn, it's about Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think it'd be fascinating to read. So most of our colleagues do good work, and Nick obviously spent his bye week working, where I spent my bye week relaxing. So give him some credit and give him some of your time right there. But so going back to LSU, I think I play cover 1.
Yeah.
Cover 1 rat the entire game. You're playing a free safety go over the top, trying to cover some of the things over the top. You're playing a second safety or a linebacker in the hole to kind of just clean up what you can. Everybody else is manned up, and you say, Ty, if you can beat us over the top, you can. We're not letting you run the ball still because you can't run the ball. We're not going to give you an advantage you haven't proven that you've earned. And we're coming after this offensive line. And so I'm not concerned to the point where I think Alabama's going to lose, but I am definitely concerned to where I think, this game could be pretty hairy. This game could be pretty hairy in some certain situations.
I mean, I think it could certainly look a lot like last week. Or 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Let me hit you with Kane Womack's thoughts on the RPO right here at yesterday's press conference. Coach, what do you see in Garrett Nussmeier, and particularly how difficult is it to defend him in the RPO game with what they've been doing lately?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of like how efficient they are in the RPO game. The perimeter screens, the throws downfield, and vertical, slant, glance game as well is an extension of their run game. And so sometimes you look at it and you go, well, they're only running the ball for this. Yeah, but they're doing certain things in the run game that are opening up things in the passing game, the RPO game, right? And so, those are things that he is navigating them really well. He's making really good decisions in terms of handing the run off or throwing the RPO based off of the numbers that he's seeing in the box or the rotations and leverages that he's seeing right now. And he, you can tell he's very confident in knowing where to go with the ball, and that's allowing them to be pretty efficient offensively.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Coach Walmart. Thanks for your
answer.
Yeah, I mean,
it leads me to believe that they have also recognized that, hey, this is how they could beat us.
mm-hmm. And so
I do think that South Carolina, while they did not win that game, they gave the rest of the SEC maybe a little bit of a blueprint of like, hey, here's how you can give Alabama some fits.
Until you can run the dang ball,
Yeah.
Ryan Grubb.
They just got to flex on some people.
What a terrible.
That's all they have to do, Joe. They just have to flex on some people in the run game. It's that simple. I hate it. That made me so angry when I read that story.
Yes,
Shut up, man. Like,
shut up and do it.
Shut up. Show me on the football field.
Yeah, we just got to do it.
You got a metric ton of total weight across your front five offensive linemen. Probably do it. Actually flex on some people. Yeah, no, I really didn't like that quote when I read that story.
I mean, we got to be done with inside zone. And I hate that because if I were a coach, that would be like one of my favorite staples. Hey, inside zone them to death. We're going to punch you in the face. But
it's not
whether you've got to do it twice a game to make them think that you're going to do it 5 more times, which is probably what you're going to have to do. You got to start pin and pulling. You got to start toss sweep. Like you've got to start counter. You need to run power. Like do something. I don't know. But the problem is like you call power and you have penetration on the backside and boom, it ends your play.
Yeah.
Or you.
I mean,
you call pin and pull like you did against South Carolina, and Dillard Stewart undercuts the pin and is in the backfield before the pin even happens, and everybody can pull around him. Yeah. And it's like the athleticism on the offensive line is dog water, and so it's just like, oh, please, can we fit? Hey, Ryan Grubb, did you hear that answer from Kane Womack about extensions of the running game? Can we just RPO these people to death, please? If they're going to be in the box and they're going to get penetration, then can we just hit Jeremy Bernard and Josh Cuevas on some screen passes, on some swing passes? And can we, like, what can we do?
That might be the way you have to do it. Kane Womack kind of said it in his answer. Like, it becomes an extension of the run game. And we've talked about it with this Alabama team in the early weeks of the year, especially I think it was that Georgia win where, like, you didn't it wasn't eye-popping rushing numbers, but like you got rushing yards without necessarily turning around and handing the ball off. You got those plays that were an extension of your run game where the plays to Jeremy Bernard and things like that. So like Alabama can do some of those as well. I think Ty Simpson is absolutely skilled enough, probably more skilled to run that type of option than Garrett Nussmeier or offense than Garrett Nussmeier.
I sure hope that John Gruden got animated about the run game. And I hope that, Coach, what you doing is not working.
I hope he called him soft.
Right. And if he
told him, hey, your offensive linemen, none of them can move their feet. They look like they're standing in quicksand out there.
Boom, 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 boom.
Need somebody playing a tuba, following them down the field. It's frustrating. Because like we heard all this, it felt like they hyped up this, well, they're so big, Caden Brock, 6'7", 360. And it's like,
they've been fine in pass pro. Fine.
That's exactly what you would expect from someone who's dedicated their whole offseason to just getting larger. It's like you are good at pass pro because you don't have to be active. You can be reactive. You just step back and wait to see what the defender does.
Catch them.
When you get in the run game,
Stonewall.
You can't beat anybody to a point.
I hope John Gruden said, Coach, we got to throw these inside zones out the window.
I hope so.
Coach, here's my idea. Here we got to, when's the last time Alabama has run a wham play where, hey, man, they are getting penetration. Let's let them get penetration up the middle and just bam, him right across. Like Josh Cuevas, he's supposed to be some big bad mean blocker.
I believe that he could do that.
Like come earhole some son of a gun right there in the middle and be like, oh, Jam Miller.
Not
now
gonna do that again, are you, buddy?
Right. Make them think for a second. Like, can we see a wham play where you just have a defensive lineman penetrate just like I usually do, katonk right in the side of the head,
and that'd be great because you can't trust any of those offensive linemen really right now to make any type of play like this. Like you would need a guy. Oh man, it is just so.
I miss Robbie Hoots so bad.
Yeah, I do too.
I miss you, Robbie Hoots, so bad.
Can we just get William Sanders in there to run that?
Perfect. Perfect.
Can we just throw him out there? Get him an 83
Brookwood
jersey.
Panthers. Let's go.
Stick him out there.
Let's go, William Sanders.
I'd love that.
Absolutely.
They have to do something to shake it up. Just something new. It might not work, but damn it, you got to try at this point. I mean, hell,
that might be the first thing that I try is a couple of wham plays, basically. A couple of inside trap. Let's get them with an inside trap. That
Some
would
old
be
school football.
Right.
I mean, I think it would certainly catch LSU off guard a bit because, like you said, we have not seen it from Alabama. They've at times tried to just get a little cute with it. It feels like in the run games with doing certain things, and maybe you just need to just strap them up and go.
All right, so I'm with you. We'll keep talking about LSU the rest of the week. We'll have Zach Nagy from LSU Tigers on SI join us Thursday at 8:45. So he'll give us about 20-25 minutes. If you're listening to us on playback, you'll be able to catch that pretty much anytime on the Thursday episode. I want to transition one more final topic, and it's an ugly topic. It's not a fun topic, but Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. got arrested on Sunday. We didn't really address it yesterday, even though it was in my notes. We should have. We've got a few more details about it. Coach DeBoer addressed it very briefly. I mean, Coach DeBoer did fine. And Coach DeBoer did just fine in his press conference with it, essentially saying, the statement is, with the details we have right now, we have to indefinitely suspend him, and left it at that. The details that we have that's been reported by some various news outlets is basically, the way I understand it, Dre Kirkpatrick was speeding up and down University Boulevard, was being fast boy up and down University Boulevard. And if you're never on University Boulevard, you wouldn't know this, but there's a bunch of bars and kind of, small eateries right there on the strip, right across from Publix. And that's where a lot of kids hang out, of course. But there is a police station right there. And on the weekends, the police are pretty much out the entire time, just standing there. Right. Making sure, hey, we're just here just to make sure you see me. Just to
stop people like Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. from driving 60 miles an hour down the strip.
Yes. And, to stop maybe drunken fights on the sidewalk, anything. But basically,
I think it's been a pretty decent idea.
I agree. I think, they've done pretty well. Yeah. Somebody asked me one time, I used to walk home from football games. Like, don't you think it's dangerous? And I'm like, no, there's like a million police officers standing there just like, give me the peace sign.
A 10-mile radius around the stadium, and there's cops on every corner.
Right,
basically.
And they just give me the peace sign as I walk by. Hey, head nod. Well, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. reportedly was going real fast, and some police officers kind of stepped into the road and gave him the whoa. And he slowed down enough to have their police officers' hands on the hood to be like, hey, man. And I think they were going to stop him and get him out of the car and, this, that, and the other, follow the process at that point. But Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. stepped on the accelerator. And I'll say, thankfully, it sounds like both whoever the police officers were not run over.
Yeah.
Like, dear, that could have been an even worse situation for you, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., and for the police officers, of course. Yeah. But it sounds like the report is the police officers were able to step each side off of the vehicle, and he fled away. And the police officers were got a runner. And when you're a football player, you're recognizable. And I would imagine
he was driving a pretty expensive car as well.
Yes, I would imagine the vehicle is recognizable as well. And so the police officer said, or the report said that this is someone I've dealt with before, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. And so like you already were, like you've been known. And so they followed him, or they chased him, or they went to wherever his address is, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, that detail was
not clear.
A little fuzzy. but that's what he did, and that gets him into some trouble. I think it was 3 counts of reckless endangerment is what I read and what I saw.
Speeding and then an attempt to elude, I think is what that
Right.
one was.
And so he is definitely suspended. And my comments are that I think Coach DeBoer handled it well yesterday with an indefinite suspension. We don't know if that means just 3 days off, a game off, the rest of the season off, next year off. I don't have a clue. And I'm not going to speculate what Coach DeBoer's thought process is.
I'm sure it's intentional because I imagine Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. also does not know if that's 3 days off, if that's a week off, if it's 2 weeks off. You've
got to be making better decisions.
Yeah, look, it just objectively speaking, like this was a very stupid thing to do. I get, people speed, whatever. Like, sure, whatever. Maybe don't speed down a super like crowded residential street, basically. But I speed sometimes. It is what it is. But like, hey man, if you get pulled over, like it just is what it is. You eat your L and you just got to go on with your day, man.
Right.
It was like you said, it was kind of unclear in the reporting. It seemed like he was able to successfully evade the initial stop and then was caught back up with later.
Yes.
So I don't know, what his reason was for evading or anything. I'm not going to speculate, but it's just like nothing, no reason that you had for evading was worth it. It's just like you're an Alabama football player in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm not going to sit here and say that they get preferential treatment by the
police. But we can work
police.
something out.
But come on, buddy. You know who you are and you know where you are.
Right. You can take your
there's
ticket.
a pretty decent chance you're going to get cut a little bit of slack.
You can take your ticket or take your arrest. They may
be okay.
Process you quickly and, court case later on, whatever.
It's just, an objectively stupid thing to do. Disappointing.
But
move on.
Young guys, learn lessons. And Dre Kirk, this is your chance to learn a lesson.
I don't believe that this is any sort of indictment on, these kids shouldn't be having all this money to drive these fast cars. Like, you guys have been driving Chargers 70 miles an hour down University Boulevard for 20 years.
Yeah. I don't think that either. But just a chance for Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. to learn a lesson here.
I cannot imagine the conversation with his father was very pleasant.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't either. I think that the
you think Coach Saban's talked to him?
I was just thinking that in my head. I wonder if Dre Kirk had, hey coach, can you give my son a call?
I bet they had a conversation.
I bet you if he hasn't yet, there will be one. Sometime this week.
What the hell are you doing?
Make investments in your future. That sort of thing.
Because it's just there's no way around it. This was not really even a gray area. It was just really dumb to do what he did in this situation.
Right.
If the reporting is to be believed, which looks like it is.
There's a chance that the police officers have their hands on their hood. They come to your window. Slow down, son. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. All right, get out of here.
That's 95% chance that's exactly what would have happened.
Right.
Because like the cop said, he already knew who it was. He recognized the car. He knew that it was like they've had multiple run-ins before, him and that police officer, per the reporting. It's like he knew exactly who it was when he saw his car approaching at a fast rate of speed. I can almost guarantee it was just going to be, Dre, slow down.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
You're going to hurt yourself or someone else.
Sorry, sir. And go on with his day. You get, a half mile down University. You can kick it back up to 70 miles an hour if you want to, buddy. You're out of sight.
Well, we just needed to address that because we take the good with the bad here, and that was some bad for the Alabama football team.
I just don't understand why on University of all street, like there's so many other places. I've lived in Tuscaloosa a pretty decent amount of time now. I hear the people at night street racing. They don't do it on the most crowded streets. They do it in pretty good spots where there's not a lot of people walking around. Go there.
I'm sorry, I'll expose myself, but the best place to go fast in this town is Jack Warner Boulevard. Seriously, if you want to go fast,
get out there and
take yourself from Crescent Ridge Road all the way down to Greensboro.
You ain't gonna see a soul.
Woo, you can burn it down right there. Honestly,
it's ridiculous.
I have driven to. It's that spot. I'm sorry. I'll just expose myself even further. It's that spot, or it is Laurel and Wallace from the McDonald's down to Skyland Boulevard.
Yeah,
those are the two spots that hey, you want to burn it down. And I'll tell you this: I have gotten pulled over. This is maybe 8-9 years ago. I got pulled over on that spot, coming over the hill on the way to Skyland Boulevard, going maybe 90, and woo, blue lights, and I pulled into the Lowe's parking lot, and I just sat there like, yeah, you got me. The Arby's. I
You
pulled
just
into the
gotta eat
Arby's,
that L, man.
and it's just like, oh, those blue lights are probably for me.
Yeah, you just got to eat them. So you got to eat it sometimes. It is what it is. Like you lose. Sometimes you lose in life.
Yeah. So
You're not going to get yourself out of that situation.
yeah.
There's nothing that There's nothing that running is going. It's not like the cops is going to see you run and then say, "Oh man,
Oh, darn it.
what did you think was going to happen?"
They got away.
Oh yeah. So
I did not get
moral
away.
of the story is we're not going to stop any of them from driving fast. I think we can all agree. So just do it in better places, please.
Right. And you still might get caught, and you still need to have your consequences.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's limit the chances, folks.
We are done for the day, Mason, unless you got anything else.
You know, they got that nice NASCAR deal. What was that little NASCAR collab they did a couple
They ought
years
to have
ago?
some simulators.
Why don't they just let them get on let them take it up to Talladega and
Get on
get
Talladega.
on the open track?
That'd be sweet.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
That's the next perk for the football facility is to put a simulator in the.
Yeah,
in
there
the
you go.
Just
That'd
have
be
it
cool.
bouncing them around.
That's what all those Coleman concession prices will go to.
Mercy. I ate before the game and I ate after the game.
That was a good idea.
I look, I know it's beyond just the athletic administration, but they certainly have a huge part in it. Well, it's our vendors set the price. Well,
That's weird because they're cheap a lot of other places, and they have the same products.
I wonder, Mason Woods, if the concession prices were a la Mercedes-Benz Superdome in Atlanta, if the 75% capacity that we saw last night would have gotten to 100 if you can get a $4 hot dog and a $3 drink instead of a whatever it was $6, $7, $8 hot dog and a $10 drink.
$10 drink. I remember when those were, I think, $6.99.
Oh,
like souvenir Coke.
gosh. Like, I'm sorry, I've got friends with young children. There ain't no way I'd take my young child who'd be, Dad, I want some candy. Dad, I want a hot
Concession stand's
dog.
close tonight.
Dad,
Sorry, buddy.
Dad, I want a pretzel. Like, no, you
I'm
can't
gonna
do
have to
it.
do it.
You can't do it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Of course, we're sitting at home in the living room and watching it on SEC Plus.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's a perfect point. If you want more people to come to these games, just make them a touch more affordable.
Sure.
It's not, you don't have to
And I understand
completely slash prices.
the alcohol is the alcohol. Okay,
You can-
like
yeah.
that's kind
You
of a
can charge
separate.
$20 for a beer. I don't care.
That's kind of a separate category, right?
Yeah.
The people that are going to drink alcohol are just going to
They're
drink
gonna do it.
alcohol. But like yesterday, you had a double feature. You had Alabama women at 4, men at 7. If you stayed for both games, you got hungry and you had dinner. We got out of there. I left at 10:40, after work. So the game probably ended at 9:45 roughly. Yeah, all right, honey, we're hitting the drive-through for 20% cheaper than the Coleman Coliseum concession stand.
Yeah, it's crazy. It has really gotten absurd.
Popcorn, $8.30 for a small.
It's absurd.
Nuts.
Should be ashamed of themselves, honestly.
Yes, it's a problem. That's a problem. And
Because we're not in New York, folks. We are in
Las Vegas pricing.
We're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but the medium income here in this town is not the highest.
Yeah, well, Las Vegas pricing right there in Coleman Coliseum. So
It's just painful.
I ate before and I ate after,
Yeah.
and that will be my strategy pretty much the whole year. So sorry, you're not getting me to spend a dime right there. And I wonder, like, just economically, if I don't spend any money, and let's say that's the norm, it doesn't matter how expensive you make them. If you're not selling anything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll sell infinitely more hot dogs at $3 a piece than you will. At
I tell you
$7
what,
a
you
piece.
sell a $3 hot dog, I'm buying 4 of them. I really
Bingo.
am. I'm buying 4, and I'm fat boy sitting in my
I'm
chair.
enjoying myself.
I'm going, whether I'm in media section just typing away, or I'm sitting in the stands going roll tide. I'm eating 4 hot dogs, and I'm just fat boy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I'm choosing not to at the current rate.
I imagine many people are doing the same. We should see if we can get a poll out and see how many people will be refusing to subject themselves to those concession prices this year.
Whew, it's nuts. So we're going to have a big week, and it continues today on the BamaCentral YouTube channel with Alabama football players hitting us at about 11:15, 11:30. We'll be talking to most of the captains is what I heard. So hopefully it'll be Ty Simpson. It'll be maybe Parker Brailsford, Deontay Lawson, and the like. Maybe we get a wild card. Come on, Alex Thompson. Give us a wild card. Give us somebody we haven't talked to lately or at all
Alex
this year.
Asparov.
Well, we talked to the punter last week. We talked to Blake Dowd last week. So we ain't getting the backup
You did
punter.
get Blake Dowd last week.
Right,
That's
right. Can we get who do I want? Can we give me William Sanders would be great. We haven't really heard from him this year. Give me Edric Hill would be great.
Ooh,
Give me
yeah.
James Smith
Yeah.
would be great. We've heard from Justin Jefferson, Nikai Hill Green, Deontay Lawson.
Can we get Dre
a decent
Kirkpatrick
fit.
Jr.?
I don't think so. I think he's on the bench at the moment. Give me Zay Mincy.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Give me Dijon Lee would be amazing. We haven't had Dijon Lee at all this
Will they
year.
give us any freshmen?
No, I mean
Yeah.
that was the rule at the beginning of the year. Is a freshman had to be cleared. Well, it's been about
Hey,
time.
man,
We
he's
need
not
to be
a freshman anymore.
right. We should be clearing Dijon Lee. So we'll see who we get to talk to later on in the day. You'll be able to find that on the Bama Central YouTube channel. You'll be able to see all the written work on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. Mason, anything else you got today?
No, stay tuned. I'm sure I'll have a recruiting story later today. I believe Alabama was named in somebody's top 5, top 6 last night. And
My
of course,
top
it's not a
20
lot to pull
teams.
up right now.
My
but
top 20 teams are Alabama, every team in the
Yes,
SEC, and every
basically.
Big Ten team that's worth a darn.
Yeah, but stay tuned to Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. You'll see the story up there today.
There we go. You follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. I'm at Joe Gaither 6. We're all at Bama Central. We're sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding. Call them at 205-858-9050 for your free roof inspection. Call Derek Daniel for all your insurance needs, home, life, auto insurance needs. 205-758-3391. Leave us a voicemail if you're so inclined. Your voice will be on the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800. And we will talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.